The Krell hunting pack materialized in the outer system with the confidence of apex predators. Their sleek warship, the Bloodfire, cut through the void like a blade, its beacon pulsing with the arrogant declaration of their presence. They had tracked their quarry across 17 systems, following the trail of impossible escapes and ruined ambush sites. Now, finally, they had her cornered. Laurention sat in the pilot's chair of her battered freighter, watching the Krell ship approach on her tactical display. Her fingers drummed against the armrest, not nervously, but with the steady rhythm of someone calculating angles and trajectories. She'd known they were coming, had known for 3 days, ever since she'd picked up the telltale quantum distortions of a ship dropping out of FDL too aggressively. "They're hailing us," Chase said from the engineering station behind her. He was younger than Lauren by 5 years, barely 23, but he'd learned to read her moods better than anyone. Right now, he heard something in her silence that made him check his own weapons locker. "Let it through," Lauren replied, her voice carrying that particular flatness that preceded violence. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing Pack Leader XRDH in all his predatory glory. The Krell were reptilian nightmares, 8 feet of scaled muscle, clawed hands, and a mouth full of serrated teeth designed for tearing. The galaxy had learned to fear them over centuries of expansion and conquest. "Human female," XRDH hissed, his translator rendering the Krell dialect into perfect standard. "You have evaded the hunt for too long. Surrender yourself for processing, and your companion may be granted a swift end." Lauren leaned back in her chair, one eyebrow arched. "Processing. That's a polite way of saying entertainment for your arena pits. The strong consume the weak. This is the way of all things." XRADH's inner eyelids flickered with what might have been amusement. "You have proven surprisingly resourceful for prey. The crowds will pay well to see you fight. Here's my counteroffer," Lauren said, her tone conversational. "You turn that ship around, jump back to whatever backwater system you crawled from, and we forget this ever happened." The Krell's laughter was like grinding stones. Bold words from dead prey. "We are 12 warriors, trained since hatching in the arts of combat. Our ship carries weapons that could crack this moon. What can 2 humans possibly?" Lauren cut the transmission. Chase was already moving, securing loose equipment and donating himself into his crash harness. "The usual plan?" "The usual plan," Lauren confirmed, her fingers dancing across the navigation console. "Except this time, I'm annoyed." The Bloodfire opened fire 3 minutes later, plasma bolts designed to disable rather than destroy. The Krell wanted their prizes intact. Lauren's freighter, the Wandering Star, twisted through the barrage with impossible precision, her engines screaming as she pushed them past safe tolerances. "They're launching boarding pods," Chase called out, watching the tactical display. 4 of them. Magnetic grapples. "Perfect." Lauren's smile was sharp enough to cut. "Let them board." The Krell breach team tore through the airlock with practiced efficiency, weapons ready, sensor nets deployed to track any heat signatures. They found an empty cargo bay, dim lighting, and the steady hum of ship systems. Pack Leader XRADH and 3 of his finest warriors advanced in formation, claws clicking against the deck plating. "Scans show life signs deeper in the ship," one warrior reported. 2 signatures. Engineering section. They moved forward, confident and coordinated. The Krell had hunted thousands of species across hundreds of worlds. Humans were new to the galactic stage, barely 2 centuries since first contact. Dangerous for primitives, perhaps, but nothing the Krell couldn't handle. The trap sprung when they reached the junction corridor. Lauren had spent 3 days preparing. 3 days rigging every system, every bulkhead, every environmental control to her specifications. The Krell were ambush predators by evolution, but humans had turned ambush into an art form refined through millennia of warfare. The gravity plating reversed, slamming all 4 Krell into the ceiling with bone-crushing force. Before they could recover, the bulkheads became electrified, conducting enough current to overwhelm even their robust nervous systems. The atmosphere vented in precise bursts, creating pressure differentials that sent the warriors tumbling. And then the corridor filled with a mist that their sensors couldn't penetrate. Simple water vapor, heated to near-boiling temperatures. Chase appeared from a maintenance shaft, wearing an environmental suit, and carrying what the Krell would have recognized as a primitive chemical propellant weapon. Humans called it a shotgun. The first warrior died before understanding what had killed it. Lauren emerged from the opposite end, her own weapon humming with magnetic acceleration coils. Your species thinks strength is just about claws and teeth, she said, her voice carrying through their helmet comms. Humans learned a long time ago that real strength is about preparation, adaptation, and the willingness to do whatever it takes. XRADH, struggling against the shifting gravity, managed to raise his plasma rifle. Lauren shot it out of his hands, then shot his hands for good measure. Your ship's beacon is still broadcasting, she continued, walking closer. Still telling everyone exactly where you are? Want to know why that's funny? She didn't wait for an answer. Because in about 30 seconds, your crew is going to realize something's wrong. They'll try to retrieve you. And when they do, they'll find that I've replaced their boarding pods with mining charges. Shaped charges. The kind we use to crack asteroids. XRADH's eyes widened. You would not dare. I spent 6 months in your arena pits, Lauren said, her voice dropping to something cold and ancient. I watched your kind feed 73 humans to the crowds. 73 people who just wanted to explore, to trade, to see what was out there. You made entertainment of their deaths. She leaned close enough that XRADH could see his reflection in her eyes. I dare. The blood fire lasted another 47 seconds before the detonations rippled through its hull. The Krell crew had time to realize what was happening. Lauren had made sure of that. She wanted them to understand, in their final moments, what it meant to be prey. When it was over, she and Chase stood on the observation deck, watching the debris fields spread across the system. The beacon still pulsed, as promised, broadcasting from a chunk of hull plating that would orbit this nameless moon for centuries. They'll send more, Chase said quietly. Let them. Lauren turned away from the viewport. Every species in this galaxy is going to learn the same lesson. Humans don't hunt for sport. We don't fight for honor or glory. She started walking toward the bridge, her steps echoing in the empty corridor. We fight to win, and we always remember. The wandering star jumped to FTL 30 minutes later, leaving nothing behind but wreckage, silence, and a still broadcasting beacon that would serve as a warning to anyone foolish enough to ignore in the distant Krell home system. When the news arrived, the Hunt Masters would analyze what had happened. They would note the tactical decisions, the ruthless efficiency, the complete lack of mercy. And they would add a new designation to their threat database, one that would spread through the galactic community in whispered tones. Humans. Approach with extreme caution. Recommend avoidance. But by then, Lauren Chun was already 3 systems away, and the legend of the human who turned hunters into prey was just beginning to spread across the stars.